Hiyo. So a few more hours later in the day, a couple of clients, a little bit of sewing. Did in two directions, so it's sort of a plaid. There's a brownie goldy color going up and down. I don't know if you can see that. Yep, yeah, you can. Okay, so I did that for the front, and then I cut the first goes together piece, and then the inside. Started working on a pocket. I'll get all the syllables out. Started working on a pocket, which is over here, and the needle broke. So rather than have a screaming fit and break something any more than I've already broken, I'm going to do the smart mental health thing, and then step away from the machine. Day 2. This saga continues. The machine is off. One would hate for it to suddenly fire off while I'm in the middle of trying to pry. I don't want to use brute force, but my hands are weak, so I have to try and use something else to grip it. Ah! Ta-da! Right. Side flat side to the back, which is what this is. Merry Christmas. Okay. So in the doohickeys they gave me, there's a needle. Excuse the hole. Well, there's the pens I used yesterday to cut the pieces out so that it would make a box bottom. I remember where I threw the little pieces. Which one is in here? Oh. Okay. Come on. Oh, I found it. Day 2 is off to a roaring start. No, it's 8 foot and 2 bobbins. That does not help with needles. Our sewing machine needles. Where would someone have put them? Okay. Oh. Day 2, got the quilting therapist, needle out of the sewing machine. Now I gotta remember where I put my needles and replace the needle. And then after that, for that, the and the bits and pieces kit. That's a shocker. Okay. Needles. Unbroken needles, even better. Okay. So there it is. Okay. Feels fairly secure. So now I get to figure out. I'm not sure I want to do attached pockets. I think I want to do like interchangeable bags that can be clipped on. So that straps probably on the top side of the bag as I sew around the 2 outside. Okay. I have to contemplate. I know how to make the little bags because I made one. Here. This way. It's got the corners on the bottom like the big bag will. This I quilted through. You can see the quilting through the inside. But I can probably make it nicer now that I know how to do that. This was the very first bag I ever made. I have plans. I'm not quite sure what they are, but I have plans. I think I'm going to use one thick material and a zipper. But I do have to think about it. Okay. Okay, so inside, essentially a box with a loop on the inside. I can clip important bags to, like wallet, something like that, so I can find it and it doesn't sink all the way to the bottom, which so much of my stuff does. Ah, here it is. As I started making a big zipper bag, it's not quite the width of the whole bag, and it's definitely not the depth, but it should be able to hold medium important stuff. I don't think this will be the passport ID bag, but it would be the, I don't know, wallet, phone, etc. bag. So I'm gonna hem this down around the edges so that it doesn't. Someday I'll figure out where the camera is. So around the edges so it lies flat. All the colors are there. The outside bag in the little zipper bag. So we'll see how that looks going a little farther along. Well, here's some news, or at least I'm trying not to panic because I can't see it in my head. No matter how many times you watch the videos, if you put the sides together and then you turn it right side out and then you flip it through and you do the whole magic you do with a pillow or a pillowcase, you also do with a bag. I've done it. It's good side to good side. So by the way, I sewed. I did sew. I did sew. I did sew the bag to the panel to the inside because it is almost about 2/3 the size of the. Oh please, I think it's working. Please tell me it's working. Please tell me it's working. Honestly, honestly, you are here with me in the moment that I see that I did the flippy inside, the pull through correctly. Oh, so happy. Oh, so happy. Oh, so happy. Oh, so happy. Okay. Okay. That's there. That's there. Oh my. Oh my. The inside of the bag. I've got that big, the medium-sized pouch inside the greater whole bag. Yeah. I need to make a panel for the bottom to keep it solid and square, and I'm going to do that. I have a piece of cardboard somewhere around here, but you know that's what I do because that's what I've been doing this whole video, is looking around me trying to figure out where the parts and pieces are. But a small, having watched 9 trillion YouTube videos of the sew together and flippity flip that you need to do to get both inside and outside looking right, I must have absorbed it. I'm so excited. So now I have to sew around this. And I did also realize that very little of what's in this pattern I actually did. The measurements I got a little creative and I cut the corners on the bottom. So, and then I sewed a bag in instead of sewing a pocket to the wall. If I go back and look, it probably tells me to make the panel before I sew up everything. But I haven't sewn up. But I didn't make the panel to stick on the inside to do the flippy flip. Oh, well, I'm missing half the instructions. Ah! Well, mine's going to get sewed onto the back, so I'm going to have to make it bigger. The neat thing about having sewn the bag in, you can hide the seam. So I started out with a pattern. The bag will look. See, look, they even sewed the handles in. Well, the handles are going to be on the outside. So is the flap, because I didn't sew them into the. So although I started out with a pattern, I cannot blame the pattern makers for anything going wrong with this because I didn't follow the instructions. However, I did review the instructions how to change the needle because I did manage to break a needle on my very first project. So I'm gonna dinging noise on my phone as I have a client online in a couple of minutes. So I need to go get myself sorted, as some folks say. And I don't know how much more of this I'll do today because I've got back to back to back.